Buddy, my name's Michelle and I'm a volunteer here at the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center. I kind of wanted to dispel some of the bad myths, the same thing that we were talking about last week. Unfortunately, going along in that same website, I read something, again, that was not true, saying that wolves get personalities from the people that raise them, and that when cubs, they call them cubs, wolf pups are not called cubs, by the way. Wolf pups are called pups. Cubs are things like bears and lions. So, unfortunately, this website keeps saying, oh, well, the wolves, they get the personalities from the people who raise them, and they're like a blank slate when they're born. Well, wolf pups, when they are born, have some pretty distinctive personalities right away. You're pretty much going to be able to tell which animals are going to grow up to be a little bit shyer and which ones are going to be a little bit more socialized. So I'm sitting outside of Zoltana and Quahati's enclosure right now, mostly because they just got some nice roadkill, so they are eating. But Zoltana and Quahati are some of the best examples of how wolves will grow up to be wolves no matter how you raise them. These guys, they got all the great socialization just like any of our wolves here. We used to be able to take them out, walk them on leashes and everything, but by the time they turned 2 years old, they turned into wolves. So the thing about these guys is they went through the typical personality change that most wolves and wolf dogs of higher content, high and mid contents go through, and they started to show more of those behaviors that are less desirable. So they're not the easiest ones. They're definitely not social. We can still go in and interact with them, but Zoltana, who's the one who's standing behind me, she's actually the only one that we have who doesn't allow us to reach out and touch her. She does have to interact with people all on her own terms. So most of the time when she does interact with people, it's coming up from behind them, and then she actually will roll on them with her herself. So she likes to come up and put her nose on your head, and she kind of rubs in it. So we're probably not going to do that for a few days because they did just get the roadkill, and it is stinky. We don't usually take old roadkill. It's just the way tripe, which is the intestines, smells. So yeah, there is that. Zoltana and Quahati are some of the really great examples, again, of how even if you raise these guys from when they're really young, they still have a lot of those wild instincts. Right now, you might see them running around behind me. They kind of look like they're nervous. Believe it or not, these guys, even though they have never experienced a fire, they are the only two wolves that we have that actually get nervous when they start to smell smoke. Now there is a tiny little fire just down here, not too far from us, but it is already contained and it's out, so no worries there. But they do get nervous, and they're the only ones that get nervous when they smell smoke. And I did want to bring up a point, since we are talking a little bit about fire. We actually have a full evacuation plan. We're one of the only sanctuaries that do have a completely full evacuation plan. We actually have a whole evacuation site with enclosures already built and everything. So we can get all of our animals out of here safely within 3 hours. Unfortunately, we have had to evacuate only once. However, it wasn't at this location. It was a location that we were at when we were in Lake George, and that was in 2002 when the Hayman fire came through. We actually lost a good portion of the center back then when it was still the Wolf Hybrid Rescue Center. So that's going to wrap it up for our weekly wolf blog today. Again, my name's Michelle and I'm a volunteer here at Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center, and we'll see you guys next week.